Hi there, this is your friend Anna, and the question that I've been getting the most from all of my friends is what are we wearing? This age-old question isn't just about choosing an outfit, it's about choosing how we present ourselves to the world. I created the I Want Her Shoes podcast to dive deep into what it means to dress with intention, whether you're heading to a council meeting or just having a casual day out with your family. Join the conversation as we explore the power of personal style and the decisions that shape our public personas. Put on your favorite pair of shoes and step into my closet. Welcome back to the I Want Her Shoes podcast, where we sit down with powerhouse women rewriting the playbook for success on their own terms, one bold step at a time. I'm your host, Anna Anisin, and today's guest is a rare combination of a strategist, creator, connector, and change maker. Meet Sandra Abi-Rashed, an award-winning woman in tech and executive who's led high-performing teams through digital marketing and data revolutions, and the co-founder of Mentoro, a global mentoring movement built on the belief that one conversation can change a career. And I'm really proud to be part of the network, the Mentoro network here in Miami. And with more than two decades bridging brand, content, tech, and transformation, Sandra brings a lens of clarity, courage, and craft to everything she touches. And in this episode, we explore how to lead with data and heart, how personal style and presence matter in boardrooms and innovation labs alike, and how mentoring isn't just giving back, it's really building forward. And whether you're a leader, creator, mentor, or mentee, Sandra's story will challenge you, inspire you, and equip you to show up more intentionally. But before we dive in all these goodies, Sandra, tell me a little bit about yourself, your roots, and what brought you to this beautiful city of Miami.
First of all, I love all that. I love all that. And thank you for inviting me today. So I'm very happy to be here. What brought me to Miami? So background, born in Montreal, raised in Montreal and Toronto, and lived in Asia and Europe, landed in Miami, I want to say 7 years ago, but when you suddenly stop keeping track. And Miami is one of those, a dress that you try on and you think you're going to try on and never wear, and then you try on and then it ends up being
take it off.
Yeah, the most comfortable thing in your wardrobe.
Exactly.
So moved here with the family and just ended up staying. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
And I met you through the Chief Network.
Yes.
Ladies.
Yes.
So it's nice to see that Miami has so many amazing groups, because most of the women that have been on the show I met through these amazing networks.
Yes. And that's what I found was great. You come here and it's one group leads to another.
Exactly.
And that's really, like anywhere else, but I just find there's something magical about Miami because you don't think you're going to meet people. That's what you hear.
Yeah, that's a perception people used to have. Yeah.
And I just met so many wonderful people here through connections.
Yes.
People just open up their world.
And Sandra, you built a career intersecting luxury, retail, media, data, and tech, which is a really cool intersection. How did your early career in places like L'Oreal and major publishing shape your approach to brand and really transformation?
So I do want to say a little bit about those two roles, if I may, because they really did. That's a great question. I had to think about that when the first role at L'Oreal. Those two roles were roles back in, one was in 2000, so very early on, and the other was a transformation role. We didn't call it that back then, but both roles were just kind of when they throw you into a role and nobody else in the company knows what they're doing, and you kind of don't know what you're doing either.
So you figure it out.
But you figure it out. And the L'Oreal role was, I came out of my master's. Nobody knew what was going on in digital. And, they do, that company absolutely knows what they're doing now. So not a dig. But at the time, in Canada, they didn't have any e-commerce sites. So I was part of a team where we were launching the very first e-commerce website. So
cool.
Nobody really knew what they were doing. And so it's one of those situations where necessity acts as the catalyst for change. And so you kind of have to find solutions from the ground up. and you don't have a playbook, there's no foundation, and you can't passively look for knowledge. You're just, you have to actively seek solutions. So that's that. Publishing, when I was a publisher and the brand director for Elle, it was a little bit of the same solution. It was years later, but we had the old school publishing world, traditional publishing, which I knew nothing about.
Yeah, like kind of that.
Well, it wasn't the advertising world. So there was I worked years in digital and data, and they had brought me in to digitize the traditional journalism team that I knew nothing about. And I was like, I know nothing about print. And they're like, that's okay. And all I wanted to do was call the printers and say, stop the process, which I did one day for nothing. But, I was in this space that I knew nothing about. And again, there was no playbook to transform a traditional magazine business.
And you figured it out.
So you figure it out. So to go back to your question, you're in these worlds where you have to transform something that you have no playbook for. So you think back at, years later, 25 years later, how does that shape what you are today? You have no playbook. We have no playbook often, or you can turn to playbooks, but it really shapes your critical thinking, and more importantly, this notion of being comfortable in the uncomfortable, in the very uncomfortable, and then just figuring it out.
Yeah, no, that, I think that you grow as well. That's like growth.
Yeah, and very young, I was in my 20s at L'Oreal when we had to do that. And, in the other position, I was a lot older, but still you're kind of figuring it out because no playbook, right? It's not like today where you're like, the younger generation, let me just chat GPT that. What would you do if I had to transform a team?
Here's 7 playbooks for you.
Exactly.
Use, right?
Do you want a serious playbook? Do you want a more serious, modern
or
playbook?
Or do you want like a simple one? And you describe yourself as a connector. And what was the moment when you realized that connecting people would become part of your purpose? Because I feel like it really is.
So it's funny because I'm sure you get this a lot, and I imagine a lot of people say this. I didn't know. And I write that because I heard it a couple years ago on a call. And one of my managers introduced me on a call, and she was introducing her team. And she said, so this is so-and-so, and this is Sandra, and her superpower is finding opportunities to connect people with purpose. And I was like, oh my God, hold on, let me write that. And then, and as we get older, we start to think about that question, like we get into our 50s, and then we're like, how did I become that? Why do I naturally want to? It's not even are we good at, it's why do I want to? Because I naturally do it. It's not like, ooh, I want to be a connector. How do I become that?
Yeah.
And I do feel it goes back to my childhood, and I spent a lot of time with my mom, and she's from the Philippines, and we spent a lot of time in the village, and villages are about communities.
Right.
And they do everything together. There's nothing that you do alone. You're cooking together, you're knocking on the neighbors, and everyone is helping each other out.
That's beautiful. I love that.
And it's really that notion of working as a family and working as a community. And I think that notion of connection comes from there.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. I think we should need more.
I like
of
that story. I'm gonna go with that story.
And we need more of that.
I'm gonna run with that.
Yeah, we need more of those kind of villages, I feel like now, right? Because we're missing that a lot of the time. Because we don't have a village. A lot of the time you move away or you leave your village and then you don't have that, I feel
kind of
like
we're all searching, and I speak for myself, we're looking for that sense of community. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
This is especially today in this highly digitized, yet disconnected world.
Yeah, especially with AI.
Especially with AI. So this notion of community is so important. And this desire that I have to connect people it's purpose driven too. I like seeing, I like the joy that comes out of connecting someone and someone coming back and saying, hey, that connection that you gave me brought me to this. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Makes me happy. Yeah, exactly. I think that's great. And we live in a world where marketing and data often feel like they're colliding, together. And how do you bring them together to serve brand strategy and business growth at the same time? Because that's probably your other superpower too, is explaining this to the stakeholders and such, right?
Yes. So I have a background where I don't see myself disconnected in one team or the other. And I like to see myself tied to both and somewhat in the middle. And I coined myself a few years ago as a business translator. And some people call that analytics, an analytics analyst, an analyst, but a business translator, in that I'm geek enough to really understand the data and the back end side of things. And although I'm not a data scientist or an engineer, I can understand enough to be able to explain it to the front end and the business side.
Enough to be dangerous,
exactly. And then I can understand the business side enough to explain it to a C-suite, or explain the business, understand the need to go back and explain it to the back end. So that translator, so that it connects the dots between both sides. And I think that's fundamental today. So there is a link between the two, and it's actually a healthy tension. If there is a tension, it's a healthy tension, and it has to exist.
And how do we keep people motivated?
I like
teams, because
so
I feel like that's hard sometimes.
It's so hard because there is that tension. It's a tension in language. Mm-hmm. There's a tension in how the language itself, the philosophy, the how they understand it. So I took up surfing when I moved to Miami. So part of the love for the dress is the surfing. But it brought me so much more than just the surfing itself.
And where would you go here surfing? I feel like it's like there's no waves.
We can have a whole podcast on that.
Yeah.
It's a different type of surf, but it's there's some surf in Miami. But what it brought me more than just the sport itself is the philosophy of going with the wave and following, being comfortable in the uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about teams, being able to anticipate what's coming and anticipate the changes and anticipate the disruption, right?
Yes, exactly.
And the newness, and not be afraid of it. And so when there is that tension, when the marketing side or the data side, and think, well, why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. It really is about the what, trying as much as possible to understand the why behind the growth of the business. Why are we doing this? Mm-hmm. Why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to them? Why does it matter to us as a company? And if we can all understand that and anticipate that for you as a person, as your growth and your development, and get ahead of it, then we can manage the fear. And then there is a part of it, Anna, also, is that if it's not for you, then it's not for you.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
There's
not everything that's for everybody, right?
It isn't. And I think that's part of it too, is like, listen, at a point, this transformation isn't for you. Yeah. And not everyone is going to be okay
transforming with the
that's okay.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We have to accept it too. It's like, it's not for you.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
And how do you think about style in the context of leadership? Not just what you wear, but how you present yourself and lead presence-wise. Because I feel like it is important because, like you could be surfing, but then you always looking so presentable and so professional.
You mean sometimes when I surf and I come back and I have, like sunscreen on my face?
Well, I haven't seen that yet. You look as polished as
For me personally, the style is about energy, I think. So it is about what we wear, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But oftentimes, I look around where we are here, and I will choose what I wear what I would like to wear based on the energy I want to project that day. Mm-hmm. So, there's a sense of style, but I'll choose this because I feel like wearing blue because I feel like
the waves. Yes.
I feel like the ocean, the power of the ocean.
Yeah.
But I feel the style is related to the energy. The energy can help me with my tone, can help me with how I need to feel in that particular meeting. I work remote quite a bit. 95% of my work is remote. Sometimes I'll put on heels behind the scenes because the heels
just give you that
stand up meeting. I'll bring up my desk because the heels gives me a sense of confidence, and I need to project a certain tone in a meeting. So there's the style itself, there's the energy that reflects the tone. Do I need to be more charismatic, less? Do I need to be more quiet, more subdued? So I don't know if that answers the question.
No, it's
for
a
me,
great
it's the
answer.
energy.
Yeah, I think that's,
It's a choice,
yes,
you know?
I agree. I'm the same way.
And it's almost, it's almost related to makeup too,
Yeah.
right? Like how we...
Yeah, that's, I mean,
you know?
it's also part of your
style.
whole style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not just what we wear.
It could be your lipstick, it could be your
Earrings.
eyeshadow,
Everything.
earrings, anything.
Yeah.
So I love that.
It's the energy, all of it.
And with your co-founder, you launched Mentoro, a movement based on coffee conversation and mentorship, which again, I'm very proud to be part of it. And what was the spark for that initiative? I know you've told the story before, but please tell it to the audience.
I will tell it again. And we're so happy that you're a part of it, by the way. So when we were at Elle, and I was a publisher, we had a style closet, we had photo shoots. So, you know, typical what you see in The Devil Wears Prada, right? And just by virtue of being in that space, and it wasn't really the publisher, so not many people were interested in the business side of it, but editor-in-chief, fashion director, beauty director, we had a lot of calls from young professionals just wanting to have coffee with them. You know, can I find out, you know, how did you get to be editor-in-chief? How did you get, can I see the closet? And we told the team, so when I say we, the editor-in-chief, Melanie, who ended up being my co-founder, we told them two things. We said, listen, you are going to forget that you had coffee with Anna in the style room, or that you had coffee with Michelle or Brian, but they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. So do it as part of your job. And two, you know, we were in Canada, so we were Elle Quebec and Elle Canada, and we said, we're not Elle US and we're not Elle France, so, you know, we're just a small country. And so we said, just do it. And 2 years later, we were in Paris, and it's part of the story. So it's
I love that part of the story.
And we said, you know, what are we going to do with all these coffee conversations that we've been having, or we've been encouraging the team to have? And we did go from pitching to an angel investor, and we did that part, pitching an app, $1 billion growth, and then we sat outside and we're like, what are we doing? We don't want to do that. We want to do a nonprofit. So we landed. Mentoro 10 years ago is exactly what it is today. Coffee conversations between mentors and mentees. And that's how we landed.
Yeah, and you recently announced the Miami-Dade based one, which I'm part of, which is Data, AI, and Tech cohort. How do you see mentorship evolving in these fields? Because, I mean, as we know, AI is the #1 growing field in tech right now. Yeah,
so I think for these fields in particular, so the cohort is data, AI, and tech. I think we mentees, mentors, we tend to think that we need to lean into the hard skills. You know, we're leaning into the hard skills, and I think mentees are leaning into the hard skills. How do I do this? How do I lean into the analytics piece of it? And so there's two things. I think one, mentorship across the board, across all industries are important. I think especially, again, we talked about this disconnected world that we're in. There's a gap that exists between senior executives and this younger generation that represents now over 50% of the workforce. So that we need to share more with them, share the knowledge, bridge that gap. But particularly in this space, we need to encourage them to lean into the soft skills also. They're just as important as the hard skills.
1,000%.
1,000%. And, you know, even if we look at the World Economic Forum, every year when they publish the top skills, every year in the top 5, we have critical thinking, we have analytical thinking, and we have being adaptable to change, flexibility.
Well, yeah, being adaptable to change, because change is like here soft and skills. It's going fast.
Yeah. So there's that part. So the mentorship is just as much part of, you know, soft skills and coaching them on communication and soft skills and just being adaptable and being able to have these human connections with mentors, one, and then also opening them up to the what that space can offer. So just getting them to be a little bit more curious about the possibilities. So curiosity, they have this aperture for knowledge, and you know they're younger. So they should be looking into every single possibility that's out there just like a sport, trying everything and then honing in on the ones that they love rather than just focusing on one thing. So I think through this cohort, I'm hoping that that mentors, thank you, give them this opportunity to just explore as much as they can and, open up their doors and possibilities to fields that they didn't know existed.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And thank you so much. It's an honor to be part of this here in Miami. And speaking about mentorship and the work that you're doing, what does authenticity look like for you, especially when you're managing high stakes tech and, transformation, especially because that's such a big deal. Transformation, maybe what does that mean to you?
I think authenticity, this is an easy one and it's going to seem so simple, but it's just being true to yourself.
Yeah.
True to yourself and true to your values. And it's such a simple answer, but I think it's easy to get carried away in business objectives and KPIs and the measurement and what you need to do because the business is telling you to go somewhere, or the growth and the movement and the growth and the double digit and we have to do this. And it's harder to sit down and take a step back and say, but what do I really care about and what is true to me and what's the right thing to do? I'm simplifying, but sometimes it is that simple.
Right. No, some of the most complicated things are the simplest, right?
Sometimes it is, and I think I don't want to make it sound too simple, but sometimes we need to just take a step back and ask ourselves, like, what do I really care about? And then try to find a balance.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. Yeah.
Try to find the right balance.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to shy away a little bit, but we can still say, okay, I don't agree with this, but okay, then now what? If I do or don't, what's my decision?
Yeah, well, that's great. That's a great answer and great advice. And if you could give one more piece of advice to women stepping into leadership roles today, what would it be, especially those who are, most of them, us, are balancing multiple things, right? Not just one. Being mothers, wives or partners, and bosses, or running teams. So there's just so many different roles.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I would say be comfortable cutting corners. Be very comfortable not being perfect everywhere, and giving yourself grace, cutting the corners and rounding them off.
I think that's great. And I've heard this, that you can't, you have to be 80%, right? You can't be 100 all the time. And that goes to athletes and everything, right? That have to do crazy things every day.
You're 100% everywhere. But, I think this notion of 80, I think it makes us feel like we're not 100. We are 100.
Yeah.
100 everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think when we say 80, I feel like it's like, oh, I'm not 100. No, you are.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But we can't do everything.
Yeah.
All the time. So cut corners. It's good enough. And even saying good enough is saying we're not good enough. But be comfortable not being perfect everywhere.
Yeah, because nothing
is perfect.
Give yourself some grace. The world is not, life is not perfect.
Give yourself some grace and cut corners. And we can't be everywhere and do everything. So, good enough is good enough is 100%. I guess that's what I mean.
I like that. That's a great
good enough
quote.
Is 100%.
Yes.
Let's make a t-shirt.
Yes. And now I would love to hear about these beautiful shoes. And for those of you who are not watching this, these are Rupert Sanderson, and these are how would you describe them? They're almost very Asian inspired, right?
Listen, I got these in I had to research 2012. And I tried to Google them. I tried to find them, and I couldn't. So I'm guessing.
Did you take a picture and try to put them?
I didn't have time. I was gonna do that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try, and I couldn't find them.
That's why that makes them so special.
So I think they're part of a special collection. But I will tell you the story. So, 2012, and I had to call a friend. To find out when did this happen. So in 2012, when we were, I was a publisher at Quebec at the time. And every year, the 51 or 52 editions worldwide would bring us to an annual conference. And that year, they brought us to Dubai. Used Paris a couple of times, and this year was Dubai. And one of the outings they had all these activities planned, and like champagne in the desert and things like that. Ooh,
love that.
And this outing, they would bring, you never really knew where you were going. They brought us in a bus, and then so we just get into the bus, and then they bring us to the Dubai Mall, which in 2012. Yeah. Right?
It was like the coolest mall in the world.
It was the biggest mall in the world, 96 million square feet.
Whoa.
Right? And they had a shoe section, it was like level shoes, and it was the biggest shoe section in the world at the time, or still today. And so they sat us down, and so 52 worldwide editions, editor-in-chief and publisher, so 100 women in the room. 100 women are sitting down, and we're like, oh, they're going to tell us about the history of the mall, the history of the shoe, like the store. So, they give us champagne, like this usual stuff. Use champagne. We're sitting there, like some people have notepads ready to take notes. And then they're like, all right, so choose a shoe. And then as soon as they say that, like, hell breaks loose.
Oh my God.
No, like, hell breaks loose.
Imagine 100 women going.
About 100 women, like hell breaks loose. Like, and then everything goes crazy. Then you see, like, everyone runs up, and this place is like, it's like magical. Like, you see shoes that were in cages, like a museum, right? Like, you see gold cages. It was gold everywhere, and then everyone puts down their drink. People are running everywhere, but then you have a big decision, right? The big decision is, okay, do you choose a shoe that you're going to wear every day? Yeah. Or do you choose an iconic shoe that you're going to wear, like, literally, I think I've worn this 10, 12 times.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's an iconic, because at that kind of a spot.
So I had to call my
collector's shoe.
Well, I had to call my friend who I still talk to today, who was the publisher of Elle Mexico. Sandra, her name's Sandra too. I'm like, Sandra, what happened that day? She says, oh, I can tell you. And she did the same as me. She chose a pair that she wore. She goes, Sandra, I've worn that 5 times. So this was the shoe that I chose, and she chose something similar. But that's the story of this shoe, an embroidered. It is embroidered. If you
that's why I thought it kind of has like a suit. They look like sushi.
They look like sushi. Never thought of it, but yeah. So that's the story of the shoe.
Oh my God, I love it. I see it. Do you see it now? Yeah. Oh my God, it's so cool.
So I just checked my notes. It's 12 million square feet. Dubai Mall, 12 million square feet.
That I can't even imagine. But
Level Shoes was the largest shoe. Level Shoes was the world's largest luxury shoe store, 96,000 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah. See that I had to write down because I
have to go check that out.
So that's the story of the shoe.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and I love that story. And before we jump into the quick fire round, I just wanted to thank the audience, because we just passed 50,000 downloads for the podcast, and we're holding steady on number 4 in the US in fashion and beauty.
Amazing.
So I'm really grateful for everybody for listening and being part of this community, and thank you, Sandra, for being here as well.
Great. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and now let's jump into this fire round. Data, dashboard, dive, or spontaneous coffee conversation.
It would depend on the day, but I'm going to go with the coffee conversation.
I like that. Like this, yes.
Yes.
Boardroom presentation or one-on-one mentoring session.
One-on-one mentoring session.
Always.
Yes.
High-end designer power suit or smart tech casual innovation jacket.
Smart tech casual innovation jacket.
Yes, I've seen you in that. Yes. Morning meditation or evening strategy recap.
Morning meditation. It's funny how these would have changed 20 years ago.
Yes, I think that changes with your life, right?
Yes.
Bootstrap startup or blue chip transformation project?
Bootstrap startup.
Yes. Legacy building for women in tech or scale building for high growth brands, or both?
Both.
Yes.
That's a good one. I'm like, ooh, I have to choose.
You can have both. Sandra, thank you for showing us that leadership isn't just about systems and KPIs. It's about style, soul, and the courage to connect. Your story proves that transformation really happens when you lead with both data and humanity, and when we mentor as much as we manage, and when we remember that our greatest impact can come from just one coffee, one conversation, and just one simple decision. And to our listeners, if you've ever wondered how to bridge your career ambition with your personal values and how to scale something meaningful while staying true to yourself, let this episode be your guide. because sometimes the most powerful thing you could wear is your intention to lead, serve, and connect.